Recording is on.
Well, it doesn't say start recording for me.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
And is it on yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should. 3 little buttons at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it's like
It told me that I could record it when I started
Recording is on.
It should underneath polls.
Underneath polls?
Yeah.
Not polls either.
Oh, Jesus. Should be like the 5th one down. Above start live stream.
I got where's start?
You have Dropbox?
I got security options.
Do you have Dropbox?
I don't think I do.
Okay. Because I could have sent it to you then.
That's all right. And you'll figure it out. She'll send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to him.
All right. So we're here today with the Sober Riders. I think it's 12
The one and only Joey.
One and only real Joey McLaughlin.
The real Joey McLaughlin, 12-step Ryders MC.
So
not all heroes wear capes.
Right.
Just let's start off with that. I obviously am a big Joey fan.
So how did you guys meet, first of all?
Joey and I, just through the bike world. I used to be in Kawartha Charity Riders. After I left Kawartha Charity Riders, Joey ended up the president of it years later, and I did just the bike world, just events and just through that world, through the events and shit. Yeah. But
I met her. We met her in Tim Hortons parking lot, and after hearing a few of her stories, I figured it was easier to be much better to be her friend than her enemy.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So, Joey, how did the motorcycles first come into your life?
So, probably, let's see, I've ridden motorcycles and dirt bikes and shit like that pretty much all my life. And then, when I was active in my addiction, I hung out with a lot of the dominant biker clubs that I grew up with, and hung out with a lot of them. So they've always been a part of my life. And then when I first got 5 years sober, I figured buying a motorcycle would be a pretty good reward. So
what does your life look like nowadays in the sober life? What does your life look like nowadays?
Oh, geez. I couldn't even begin to tell you, man.
Not enough hours in the day, we know that much.
The improvement over, geez. My life in addiction was horrible. I mean, like, I don't like to brag about, and I don't brag about it because there's nothing proud to be about it, but the amount of beer and alcohol I could drink in a sitting used to be one of my greatest achievements, right? Like, on a daily, I was drinking two cases and a 40. That was like a regular Monday night. That was just the way it went. And then, once I got about 6-7 beer deep, then pretty much anything you put on the table in front of me was going to disappear one way or the other. So then that led to a really expensive lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, addiction can be a full-time job on its own, that's for sure. And
that's for sure.
Definitely an expensive habit.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So when did substances first become a part of your life?
When did what?
When did substances first become a part of your life?
I started smoking, I was on the pot when I was 12. I started getting into that stuff, and I was already drinking. By the time I was 16, I was a daily drinker and a daily user.
Wow.
Would do pretty much anything. Yeah, I mean, I spent 28 years pretty much drinking to get drunk every single day.
28 years you were drinking.
Oh yeah, 28 years. From the time I was 12, probably became a daily drinker around 16, and I didn't quit and didn't get fucking good sobriety until I was about 40.
Right. And can I ask you something? usually like I was into drugs and stuff. I was never really a drinker, but I was into drugs and stuff very, very early in my life, and obviously that came from somewhere. Is there like a specific thing that you think you got into? Like why would you have got into drinking that heavily at 12 years old?
Oh,
Where did it go from being casual
yeah,
to
go
being
right into the big heavy questions. Look at you.
Yeah,
This is
man.
a real
Yeah.
podcast.
Not here to fuck
we're
around,
not
pal.
joking.
Yeah.
But also,
You
I
know,
just want to say, if there's something you don't want to answer, just say,
oh,
I don't want to
and
answer.
you
You
know
know?
me. I'm an open book, right? As
Good
an
for you.
alcoholic and an addict, nothing was ever hidden. As much as I
Yeah.
thought it was hidden, there was
Yeah.
nothing hidden. So
No.
as a recovered alcoholic and addict, I definitely don't hide anything, because somebody out there might need to hear what
Right.
I got to say, and they might
Absolutely.
relate to me, and that'll start them on their journey, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
growing up, when I was a kid, I was needy as fuck. To be honest
Right.
with you, I always needed that constant approval, and just needed to be able to fit in. And
Right.
I mean, I could say it now. I had an extreme hatred for who I thought I was, or
Right.
an extreme hatred for the person that I actually was. And I
Right.
didn't think anybody out there would like the kind of guy that I was going to be, or that I
Right.
wanted to be. So I drank and drugged and did everything I could so that I could fit in. And
And
then
you fit
when I
in
was
more.
drunk, it was
It's
easy.
easy
I
to
could be
fit in.
anybody you wanted me to be. It
Yeah.
was easy, right?
Yeah. It's easy to fit in that lifestyle, weirdly
Oh yeah.
enough. It's the
Hey, all you gotta
easiest
do is
lifestyle to fit in.
be the guy that owns the house that has the party, and everybody loves you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? Shortly after that, I became the dealer, and I became all that stuff, and so everybody wanted to hang out with me, because fucking Joey always had a big bag, and he always had a couple cases of beer, and he always had a couple bottles of alcohol, and he
Yeah.
had a couple free bedrooms that anybody could do whatever the fuck they wanted it, because I
Yeah.
didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So not all heroes wore capes back then, too. You were the hero.
I was always the hero, Angel.
Yeah, I love
That's just
that about
a
you.
natural thing for me. I'm always the head of the pack.
Yeah. I just want to say Joey is like one of my right hands. I swear to God, if I could have two right hands, my other one would be Joey.
Yeah, I get you out of a few jams.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But we work great together,
We do.
We work great together, and I have a lot of respect for you and and who you are now, like from all the the lifestyle that you used to live. Like I didn't know you back then.
Yeah.
I never knew you as this person, right? So, but you
Well,
never knew me as the addict either,
that's right.
right?
I hear some of the stories you tell about your past, and it blows my mind
Yeah,
that you did some of that stuff. Although, and I know that you're genuine, so I know that you're not lying to me about it. So,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
It's pretty
that
wild
life
how
was
much
just
you
it was
changed.
just absolutely horrible, right? And then,
Yeah.
not to stick with the cliches, but I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I just, one day just decided that I don't know what's the best way to put it. I started thinking about fucking dying. I started thinking about committing suicide. And it's
Okay.
not that I wanted to die. I just couldn't keep on living like that. So I had to change something, right? So
Yeah.
I reached out and got some help, and then, fought against the help for 4 or 5 years, 6 years. And then finally, through circumstances that happened to me, I was finally able to surrender and just give up any thought I had that I could do this by myself. So,
Right. And
and
when you
so,
found, go ahead.
and that's, and because of that, and because, and I don't mind sharing, I belong to Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous and
Yep.
Cocaine Anonymous.
Yep.
And I'm an active member in all three of those. And I've been doing that, solidly. And, today I've got, just almost 16 years of continuous sobriety, right? Which is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I never thought I was going to live
Right.
past 30. So every day that I get to be past 30, it is a good day.
congratulations.
Yeah, it sure is. I'm actually almost 15. Actually, you know what? When I got clean, my daughter was pregnant with Chase, and his 15th birthday is this month. So it's almost 16 years for me as well. So my question was going to be, so when you figured out that day, like, okay, fuck, that's it, I'm going to reach out for help. What is that help that you reached out for? Like, where did you go?
Where'd you start?
So
What
I
was
was
your
already in AA and just
Yep.
fighting against all their principles and fighting against what they told, still trying to do it on my own and just pretending that I was following following those 12 steps that they tell us save our lives. And
Right.
and I can tell you, like, so my second wife suffered a major stroke, and she was on life support at Stouffville Hospital. And it was I was there that night, and I can tell you that day was probably one of the most horrible days of my life. I'd just come off of a big drunk, and I'd only been at that time maybe two weeks, 3 weeks trying to get back into the sobriety. And I was sitting in that hospital, and all I wanted to do was call my dealer and call somebody to come pick me up and bring me to the nearest bar.
Right.
I went to make that phone call. I did. I swear to God, I was going to call somebody to come and get me, and somebody to sell me a bag, and somebody to bring me to a bar. And instead of dialing the numbers that were in my phone, I dialed a good friend of mine who was been in AA for a while, and she dropped everything and came to the hospital, hung out with me, and forced me to do a fourth step, right? So, and the fourth step, for those that don't know, it's a thorough and honest moral inventory, right? Of all the shit that I've done, all the shit people that I've harmed, all the people that have harmed me, and I put all that together. And sitting there in the hospital, then you spent the 3-4 hours writing everything down in pencil and pen, and getting everything written down. And then the fifth step is where you share that inventory with God and with somebody else.
So
So
what was the hardest truth for you to come to for yourself?
it was a very hard truth to come to, right? And then that's the way my friend Arlene explained it to me. So, like, you are, so my girlfriend or wife at the time was sitting on child life support, and she said, you're never going to get a chance to do a fifth step with her. You're never going to be able to tell her this stuff. This is your last chance. So, and that's what did
Very
it. So I sat on her bed for most of the afternoon on a Saturday, and just went through my list and explained everything to her and talked to her. And she couldn't answer, which was probably a godsend, because I was, nobody wants to admit all their shit, right? Like,
yeah.
that's really just but the fact that she couldn't answer kind of made it easy for me to just drop it and leave it out there.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, once that was all done, you're supposed to share that same stuff with God. So I went down to the chapel, and for the first time in a very, very long time, I got on my knees and I said a prayer, and I talked to God honestly. And I can tell you that day, that was like August 10th, right? August 10th, 2010. And or no, not August 10th, August 9th, 8, 9, 10, August 9th, 2010. And it was like somebody flipped a light switch in me. I knew sitting in that chapel that day that I was never, ever going to drink again.
Right.
It's just, it's a fun, I don't preach to be a godly person or a religious person or anything like that. But I mean, there's no other explanation, every day before that, for the 40 years of my life before that, I woke up every morning wanting to go drink and having to fight against that that obsession to do it.
Right.
And after
Right.
that day, honestly, I can honestly tell you, I've never even thought about doing it.
Because the ritual of doing things becomes
Oh yeah,
addiction
it's
as
just
well.
habit. And I mean, like I mentioned before, like, you drink 48 beers a day, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to get started, right? So,
Right.
and that was every day, 7 days a week. I rarely took a break. I think the only days I didn't drink were New Year's Eve. Yeah, New Year's Eve was pretty much the only day I didn't drink, because that was the day, you know, all my nieces and nephews and my kids, I had 6 of them at one point,
Wow.
and they were just, that's the day that I would spend with them on New Year's Eve, and I would do that without be getting drunk. So,
Right.
but that was pretty, I made up for it every day after that.
So how
Right.
is your relationship with your kids? How did it affect them?
Oh, today it's absolutely amazing. I've got a good relationship with my kids and my stepkids.
Sorry, I'm
Um,
having a hot flash.
I
Keep
have that
going.
effect on women.
I'm
Yeah, no,
looking
like
for a fan. Go
today
for
I
it.
have a good relationship with my kids. I mean, I wish they would call a little bit more, but I mean, they're fucking kids. They're assholes. What else you gonna do, right?
Right.
But you know, I mean, you know, we've had lots of conversations since I've been sober, and you know, it's if you're out there and you're struggling and you think you're fooling somebody, just realize that your kids are probably way smarter than you give them credit for, and
Yeah,
they know a lot more of what's going on than you realize.
that's a
Yeah.
fact. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
getting sober,
a
make
fact.
sure that you know, like my kids are always on my men's list. Whenever I put one together, whenever I go over, do another fourth step and all that kind of stuff, you know, my mom, my dad, my sister, my kids, those are always the first names on all my list every single time, because I
Yeah.
don't know if I will ever live long enough to make up for the shit that I caused them.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Right.
So how did
And
you
that's
discover Sober Riders?
How did we become the 12-step riders? Um, so yeah, after a few years of sobriety, like I said, I was president of the Kawartha Charity Riders for a little while, and then how I became one was I had a guy that I used to work with call me up one night and asked me about getting some help. He was having a little drug problem, and he needed to get some help. So I phoned one of my buddies that was in at that time, it was the Sober Sons,
Silver
and
Suns.
I phoned him because I knew that he was local and he was active in his AA program and stuff. So I said, like, I need to get this kid to a meeting tonight. Where can I go? And they had a little men's meeting with the Sober Sons in somebody's garage. So I took that kid to that meeting. Unfortunately, he never made it back to another meeting, but I just
Oh.
stuck there and then, you know, stayed there. And then the opportunity came to join the the
Silver
12-step
Suns.
riders. A lot of political shit and stupid shit happened that caused the Sober Sons to have to switch to 12-step riders MC. And when they made that switch, that's when I joined and became a 12-step rider.
So what
And
are the
probably one
values?
of the greatest things I've ever did.
And now he's the president.
There you go.
And yeah, and then, you know, through a bunch of more circumstances, I become the president of the club. But I mean, I tell the guys too all the time, right? I just wear the patch that says president. That's it, right? I mean, I'm no different than any of them, right?
Yeah.
This is all of our club. Every one of us belong to it. Every one of us has
Yeah.
control over it. And
You're very good at that. Like you make people, you don't like, I'm very active in a lot of clubs and I, you don't, you don't have that like, God complex that sometimes you see, right? Like, you really have, I like the way that you have with your guys. Like you don't, just like you said, you're all the same, and I see that in your
hey,
club a lot.
I'm no different than any of them. You know, there's work to be done at the clubhouse, and there's work to be done, and that includes me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah.
fortunate that most of the guys let me come in and pretend like I'm the boss and point my finger and tell them what to do. But, you know,
Supervisor
at the
role.
same token, you know, I mean, me as well as many of the other full patch guys, we've spent many hours where it's just me and them or them on their own or me on my own, just doing stuff that needs to get done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what values and principles guide your group?
Jesus. Um, let's see if I can find real quick. So our mission statement basically suggests that, you know, we are all recovering addicts. And our mission is to combine our two passions, which is motorcycles and sobriety. So we try to do that, and we carry the message of Alcoholics Anonymous out on the road to help the other, in our case, help the other sober or the struggling biker who's just not getting it, who's just struggling with addiction. So that's our job. Our job is our mission, and that's to help somebody get sober. Help somebody who wants to get sober get sober. Because we have a lot in our club right now. I think we're at 98 years of sobriety between all of our guys. Right? So
Wow.
if anybody's wondering how this works and how to get sober, we definitely have a pretty good clue on how to do it. So, and that's what we do. We invite people to come hang out with us. We go for rides. And that's pretty much it as far as yeah, that's it. That's our mission statement. And that's it. We're just here to help other fucking struggling people get help, right? However
And
that may be, whether we help them or we get them to a meeting or we hook them
yes,
up with somebody else that can help them.
yes.
And that's just the way we do it, right? So
And congratulations on the new spot. You guys got a great
yeah,
spot there. Like
our
it's
lovely wall. I think
great.
this is the cleanest wall right now because we're
They're
still
still
doing a
building
bunch of
it
last
there.
minute shit. But yeah, this is our new spot is much better for us. We can sit in here without elbowing somebody accidentally in the head.
Yeah, yeah. Your last place was quite small.
Well, we went from a trailer that was 9 feet by 13 feet, and now we've got a pretty big room. It's probably 24 by 24.
Yeah.
It's fairly nice.
And the
And
outside area is excellent.
oh, the outside area is excellent. Got a nice big home built out of nice stone, big old barbecue, and
It's
lots of
beautiful.
parking. And
Yeah.
it's going
Wow.
to be a real good spot, and by this time next year, we'll outgrow this one too. So
That's right. That's right.
we're just growing like crazy. I think, and I mean that there's something to be said. Like, I mean, we are, as far as I know, somebody out there, if you're listening and you know different, correct me. But as of right now, we are the only MC that has sobriety as a requirement for membership in
Right.
Canada.
Right.
There's lots in the States. There's quite a few in the States, but we are the only one in Canada, as far as I know.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if there's more. I think it's a great message because a lot of people like kind of partying with bikers drinking is kind of a thing,
Yeah.
at parties, drinking is kind of a thing, and it's just not, it's a different vibe, but at the end of the day, it's a great vibe. I'm all into
Um,
this sober shit.
yeah, the sober shit
Yeah,
worked well for me too. So,
that's right. That's right. And you stay strong because you also go to events where there is drinking and where there is alcohol and
well, we got to learn how to live life on life's terms,
that's
right?
right. That's
Just
right.
because I don't want to drink anymore doesn't mean I have the right to tell anybody else that they can't drink.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I mean, in the beginning, it was a little bit hard. I went to the bars if it was somebody's birthday, and you had to be pretty close to me to get me to the bar then.
Yep.
But now,
Yeah.
like I said, it doesn't bother me at all. I can go there and drink, and then like we go to the clubhouse quite often on their open house night.
Yep.
And,
And there's
and
always quite a few of you there, so all of you are able to do that, and that's amazing.
well,
Have you ever had a member that was just like, "Nah, I just can't do that yet,"
oh, I don't know if we've had anybody like, but and we tell all, especially the new guys, right? Like if going to an open house night is going to cause you any kind of an issue, then just don't go. It's
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
right? In our dominant club, our handlers or whatever you want to call them,
Yep.
they're real good with us. They keep their fridge stocked with pop and water and zero beers and
Yeah, you got those 0 beers there. I
yeah,
said, you know what, it was a while ago, and I said, "I seen one of your guys with it look like a beer bottle." And I'm like, "What the fuck is that about?" Right? And I asked you or I asked somebody and they're like, "No, that's that 0 beer shit." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense then."
yeah.
It just looked really fucked
That
up.
stuff works for some people. I don't particularly like it. I got a little saying, zero beer. It's like eating out your cousin. It tastes
Yeah.
the same, but it's wrong.
That's one way to fucking put it, eh?
Well, you know, I say it often enough. Maybe I'll get my guys to stop drinking zero beer, but you know.
So, speaking of your guys, how many members, what do you have for members right now? I know there's quite a few of you guys.
Yeah, so right now we got 8 full patch guys,
Yep.
and then we got 9 guys coming up through the ranks.
Nice.
So yeah, it's working. You know, probably for the first year and a half, almost 2 years, it was just the 8 guys. That was it. We didn't.
Right.
Nobody else seemed to be coming. Nobody else seemed to be coming in there. I mean, for the first year, I think there was only 6 of us. So that's,
Right.
you know, it
Right.
was. And then we got a few more guys, and it was just like, and we were good with it because we had a good bunch of guys, and you know, as much as we wanted to grow the club, we also know that if you grow too fast or with the wrong people, it can like really mess up your club, right?
Right. So you're really just
So,
taking it easy, taking your
so
time.
and just take it easy, and it was just, you know, naturally guys started seeing us at meetings and started coming out, and you know, we run a Thursday night biker men's meeting,
Yeah.
and you don't need to be a member of the club to come. You just got to be. Hold on. Yeah, you just got to be, you know, it's run, even though it's not affiliated with AA, it's run just like an AA meeting. Anybody, as long as you want to get sober and you want to quit drinking, you're welcome to come and sit down with us. And of course, you know, if you ride a bike and are a man, and then
Even better.
usually they sit in 2 or 3 of those meetings, and then are usually pretty interested in, you know, it's not hard to see what we have and what we're trying to do in this world, and
Yeah.
they usually get pretty interested quick.
And so this is what days?
On Thursday nights.
At what
Thursday
time?
nights at our clubhouse, we do an AA meeting, AA NA mixture hybrid meeting.
Nice. And so how would one, like, I know how, but like how would somebody listening that doesn't know how to get a hold or get in touch? You also have a Facebook page, correct? Yeah.
Plain and simple, yeah. Go to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Do a search. I think it's 12SRMC on Facebook, or you can go to our website, 12srmc.ca. You can
Yeah.
go to our website, and there's an email thing there, and then, the fastest way, just reach out to us on Facebook, send a
Yep.
message, and me or my buddy Marty here will answer, and you know, usually that's the first step. And, you know, we've had lots of guys message and say, "Oh, I want to join your club. That's awesome." You know, the first step is to come hang out at a meeting, right?
Right.
You can't sit around an AA table and have a discussion about your sobriety or about your drinking or about anything without being a little bit honest about yourself. And me, it's still the best way to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So is
Yeah,
there a ride or a moment that really stayed with you?
Out of all the rides that I've done, probably one of the best ones I've ever done, and is in Akron, Ohio, on a Sunday morning, somewhere probably around June 9th, June 10th. Last year we were down there, and
I remember
it's June 9th is what we call Founders Day. So the 2 guys that started Alcoholics Anonymous, and apparently it started, the first day was June 9th. So, and it started in Akron, Ohio. So we went down there, and then on the Sunday you do a ride to the cemetery. So Dr. Bob, one of the founding members, is buried there. And you do a ride to the cemetery, and they do a big ceremony, a bunch of speeches. You get to learn some history, talking to families there to talk, and then like you're looking at 600-700 bikes, maybe more, going down the
we were
road through
very
Akron,
excited
Ohio.
last year.
And
Yeah.
like that, I mean, we're going again this year. It was just such a great experience to be there and stand in the same spots that the 2 guys that started all this stuff stood. Right? You get to visit their houses and see the stuff and do the history. And I mean, for a guy like me, I love that shit. And be able to do that just brings there's no. Like I said, that going to that little ceremony at the cemetery, riding in a pack of 600-700 bikes and going there and hearing all the history and hearing all the stuff. I mean, it's an incredible, heartwarming experience.
Right.
Sounds amazing.
And that happens every year.
Every year, right around June 9th. We'll be gone again this year. This year, we're gonna go for almost a whole week and hang out and do stuff and
Nice.
take in some meetings down there, and it's yeah. The feeling that you get from being there is undescribable. At least to me, it is.
Right.
So people that don't know about you guys, how do you deal with the stigma about the addiction in the biker life?
Well, that's kind of, it's kind of part of what we are, right? Like, I mean, we don't regret the past, nor do we wish to shut the door on it, right? So, we got to accept that we were once that way. And if somebody wants to look at us and realize and think that that is still us,
Let them.
yeah, they can think whatever they want. We don't have to like them. We don't have to let them hang around. But, it's funny, and I can't believe I'm going to do this, but there's a verse in the Bible, and it's weird. It's been popping up in my head and on my pages and on my stuff that I read and all that kind of stuff has been popping up a lot in the last couple of weeks. And it's for those who follow me, you will be a new creation, right? And it's just basically like if you and most of us have, I've got a higher power. I choose to call it God, but and for me, then that's exactly the way things happen, right? The minute I started believing and started having faith and started following that kind of that higher power, I became a new creation. The old me disappeared. The old me has been dead for 16 years, right? Like that part is gone. And if that's the part, like, in my life today, not many people that I hang out with even knew who I was back then. So I don't get that a whole lot. Like most people find it hard to believe with the life I lead today that I was ever that way.
Yeah.
Right. So, but, for those that did know me, I can say for the most part, most of them feel nothing but pride, right? They love the fact I got one friend who called me his modern day hero, right? Because he knows how I was, and to see what I do today is such a vast difference, and it's so extreme from each other, right? From the extreme low to the extreme high, and he says it's a phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and that's to me that's what people need to look at, right? Like I mean, it's like we all know you can go anywhere, any downtown in any town and anywhere not in Canada, and you can see what addiction does to people. It's right out there. It's in the open. There's nobody's hiding it, and it's right out there and it's in the open, right? And what people need to realize when they meet somebody like myself or any one of my guys that have some sobriety time, that they need to realize that those people on the street have that opportunity to get to where we are.
Yeah.
And that's the only stigma that should be around, right? Like those that are willing to get help, and unfortunately when you're in that state, and especially with the drugs that are out there today, you need to be ready. And that's and we are. Like if somebody came up to me today and said like I need help right now, I would put everything I'm doing aside and give that help.
Yeah.
Because you got mere seconds to get them to change their life.
I find that's a lot of the problem being an addictions counselor today, is that our biggest issue that we're fighting against is getting these people the help that they need when they need it, right? It's really,
that's it. Like,
it's almost damn near impossible nowadays to get them into
it's damn near impossible. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there with it, right? Like, how many people are lined up at methadone clinics on the daily, right?
Yeah.
Methadone has a 3% success rate, right? 97% of the people using methadone use again.
Yeah. Well, there's
And they do
the
use
same
again.
day that they're doing the methadone, so it's
And
really
they don't realize that misconception is out there, and people realize they think, well, they're doing methadone, how come they're not getting better?
well, that's
It's
right.
too easy
Methadone-
to stay on methadone.
Well, that and methadone was never created to provide people recovery, right?
Right.
It was created for fucking heroin addicts sitting in a jail cell. so
Mhm.
that they made their withdrawal easier so the jail guards didn't have to
Have to
deal
deal
with
with
it.
them. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the only reason methadone exists. And then now they've got it. It's a substitute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk to any addict who's still out there using and in active addiction, and they'll tell you, like, they use methadone on the days they can't afford the real stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
It's just to keep them at bay so they don't die, so that tomorrow maybe they can get high again.
That's right.
Mhm.
Because if you're on methadone and you can't find something that day, you're still going to be okay. Right?
Yeah,
If
you
you
can go
don't,
get for
yeah,
$7.50. You can go get your little drink, and away you
yeah.
go.
And most people it's free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the methadone, um being an ex-addict myself and then being on methadone, like there's so many the I think the people that make those programs, they're not ex-addicts, or they would know how to make it work. You know what I mean? It's not going to work the way that it should work, with it working the way it does right now. It is so easy to be an addict. It's so easy. They make it way too
Oh,
easy
it's
to be
much easier than it
on
was 20
that
years
system.
ago, right?
Oh,
Like,
Yeah,
like I've said it many times. I'm thankfully I'm recovered today, and
mhm,
me
because
too.
if I was still in active
yeah,
addiction, using those drugs that they have there,
Yeah.
I'd be
yeah,
dead.
I say
Without
the
a doubt,
exact
I
same
would be
thing.
dead. Like I said, I had my motorcycle accident was 2 years ago now,
yeah,
and that's how I know I'm an addict, because I fought with the paramedics for like an hour and a half about giving me any drugs. I'm like, nope, I'm
yeah,
not taking nothing. And I had broken all my ribs on the left side. I had pretty much a third degree
yeah.
burn from my
You
neck
were
all the
a
way down
mess.
to my ankles,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't take any kind of drug
yeah,
at all. And then they put me in an ambulance to take me from Oshawa to Sunnybrook Hospital to the trauma center there. And I was in the ambulance, and the guy looked at me. He says, I understand you don't want to do anything. He says, but your heart rate is at 6 beats per minute right now, and if I don't give you something, you're gonna die.
mhm,
So I chose you getting fentanyl instead of
yeah,
And let me tell you, that whatever I was used fentanyl for, like, I think it was like a 24-hour period, medically administrated, so not no great big doses, but
Yeah.
I can
right,
understand why they love that drug.
yeah. Yeah, I was given that after surgery too, and I had, last year when I had my surgery, I told them under no circumstances are they to give me, that, right? The only pain medication that I'll accept at any time these days at all is Percocet, and that was because I hated Percocet, and I knew that it would not become a problem because I just hated it. And but I told them that, and then after I got up, she was putting some pain medication in my thing, and right away I felt better. Um, and she said she was going to call my husband to come and get me. I was whatever. They gave it to me a second time, and I said, "What are you giving me?" And it was fucking fentanyl. I was so angry. I was so angry. And then the problem was I was so out of it that they put me in this waiting room, and she says, "Your husband will be here to get you," or whatever. Well, I couldn't sit, right, because of the surgery. So I was so out of it, I just started wandering away. And I walked all the way home in a snowstorm. I had given Cody my phone, I had given Cody my coat, and my daughter Jamie was outside on the porch when I came around the corner, and she's like, "Mom, what are you doing?" And I was just so out of it. And I said Cody wasn't there to get me, and I walked home, and she's like, he was there the whole time. You know how they don't get service in the hospital, right?
Mhm.
Very well here. Well, I guess
Yeah.
she left him a message, but he was sitting in the waiting room, the other waiting room. And when she brought me out, she said, "Wait for your husband here." I just started wandering away, like on fentanyl. I was so angry that I had told them not to give me that, and they gave it to me anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, I as well agree. I can see why they liked it
I can
because
understand. They were giving me fentanyl and ketamine
mm,
together. And let me tell you, when I got up the morning after and I was, still lying in the emergency room hospital bed, looking up and I swear to God, I seen Jesus. Just the way the curtains were shaped and everything like that. I swear to God, I was, and then that Tracy was there beside me. And as I said, man, I must be close because Jesus is standing right there.
wow. That's
And
quite the trip,
that's
eh?
when she buzzed the nurse and said, "Can you lower his dose a little bit?"
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I need quite that much.
Right. If you could go
All
back
right.
in time and talk to your younger self, what are some things that you might tell yourself?
That's a good question. I probably wouldn't tell me anything. And I'll explain that because as much as all the stuff I went through and all the stuff that happened and all the stuff I created, all the shit that caused, you know, all that stuff brought me to where I am today. That's the stuff that gave me the life I have today, right?
Yeah.
Like if I hadn't have gone through all that crap, I would have never gotten the gift of despair that brought me into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, where I learned how to be a fucking decent human being and learned how to live my life without depending on alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't have done all that stuff to get to that dying moment where I was ready to change my life, I would have never got here. So
That's right.
if I could go back in time and you know, I'd probably the only thing I would tell myself is don't marry that first girl. She's a cunt.
That's a good one. I just Peyton's ride's here to take her to dance. I'll be right. You guys
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I'd probably go back and tell myself the same thing about the first husband. So, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Where do you see
In
the
the next
club?
few years, yeah, the club right now we're growing pretty quickly. We got a lot of new guys coming in and finding us, and you know, the goal has always been, of course, we all want to see the club explode and become a great big thing, right? I mean, we have, I don't know, there's 40, 50, 60 sobriety clubs that have, multiple chapters all across the United States. And we've had lots of questions about starting charters all over the place. But right now we're taking that slow. I mean, eventually I'm sure we'll get there. But we don't need some Yahoo in Edmonton, Alberta screwing things up for us, or some dummy in New Brunswick, you know, not following the MC rules, right? And that's the other hard part is that um, we are a motorcycle club. We are an MC. So that means we have rules and protocols and procedures that we need to follow. And that gets a little tough for some people, right? They don't understand the hierarchy of how motorcycle clubs work, right?
So,
But slowly growing, always growing. And, that's the like, I don't see the club it'll just getting bigger, getting more wide known. I think that's about it for the club wise, anyways.
and how do you deal with cravings nowadays? Like, do you still have them?
I don't get very many of them. Once in a while, like on a hot summer day when you're riding down the street and you see a couple buddies sitting on a patio drinking a cold beer, and, I might think, oh, that'd be nice, but that's about the extent of it. I don't really, because I know how I think, right? My old thinking is as much as I wish it was gone, it's not gone. It could very easily come back up. I could very easily let it. I could very easily start thinking that way again, right? So I know I could go in on a Sunday afternoon and have two beers and say, okay, that's it. I'm going home. But on Monday morning, my brain would be saying, well, you had two yesterday. It didn't hurt you. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the month, I'd be right back to, two cases rather than two beers and looking for a drug dealer close to me. And there's lots of them. They're like cockroaches. You just turn the light on, they show up.
So what does freedom mean to you, and how does it, and how do I do it? So, and now you, and how do you compare it to how it was before? Like how your freedom was before compared to now?
Well, before I didn't have any freedom, right? At my every waking moment and every thought, everything I did or everything I didn't do revolved around me getting drunk or getting high.
Mm.
So that there's no freedom in that, none whatsoever. I didn't do anything unless there was a beer or a drug at the end of it,
Mm.
and sometimes it wasn't so bad, but it was always the factor. Always the deciding factor was how many beers I could get in, how many drugs I could do, and that's I didn't do anything unless that stuff was involved. So there was no real freedom. You know, um, today I'm free to do whatever I want, whether that's help a couple friends with their podcast or you know uh, help the local church out with their lawn cutting and their snow removal and with their electrical stuff and or just helping. Honestly, the greatest freedom I know is to help somebody who is struggling with addiction and to get them out and watch them grow and grasp life the way it's supposed to be grasped. Like there's no way, no matter what your belief system is, you know, no matter what you believe put us here on earth, that thing does not want us to live a life of addiction. They want us to have the best life we could possibly have. So that's my freedom today. My freedom today is knowing that for those about me, yeah, I'm of maximum service to the people around me. The program with AA, and and to the God of my understanding. Right. That to me is the freedom. Right. I can do whatever I want, and today what I want to do doesn't hurt or harm anybody else. So or myself, which is good.
What does being on a motorcycle do for your mind?
Uh, that is, I attribute riding a motorcycle for it's a big part of my sobriety. Um, I have many helmets. I never get rid of a helmet because that's where all my secrets and all my talks to my higher power
Mm.
are contained within that helmet. I got a shelf full of them in my
That's
garage.
cool. I didn't know that
And,
about
yeah, that is everything. Those that I talk more to my higher power when I got that helmet on than I do anywhere else in the world, and that brings me a little bit of peace, a little bit of serenity, and allows me when I got stuff going on. You know,
you. It's the best
they say
therapy.
it's definitely therapy, right? They say I'm a little bit biased because I'm a firm believer in it and I partake in it. But the only way to get recovered is through a spiritual connection, right? And there's no better place to get spiritually connected than on the seat of a motorcycle. That's for me. That's it, right? Like if I need to straighten shit out, jump on the bike and go for a ride. Usually about an hour or so. Sometimes it takes a lot longer, but usually within the first hour, I've got everything sorted out of my head, and then I'm just enjoying life.
Mm.
What's the farthest trip you've ever gone on your motorcycle?
Um, I've done a few. Sturgis, South Dakota was a good trip. That was 10 days and 11,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was a really good
Wow.
trip.
That's a
It's
good
2,600 kilometers from Lindsay to Sturgis.
Wow.
And
right.
that was a 2.5 day ride all the way there. We did it back home in an hour and a day and a half, and we did a lot of riding while we were down there. So that was good. And then I think 2 years ago, no, 2 years ago was an accident. So 3 years ago, I did yeah, it had to be 3 years ago, maybe four. Me and a friend, and God rest his soul, he's no longer with us, but he was one of the guys that I could, and no matter where I rode, he would come with me and hang out with me, and we did most of our riding together, and we did a trip pretty much. We did so. There was a list that came out that said, the 10, but it was the 10 best motorcycle roads in North America. So on that trip, we rode 7 of those rides.
Wow.
So that was, we did the Tail of the Dragon, and we did the Cherahole Skyway, and
What,
we
there's
did,
like some famous rides, some famous roads for,
yeah,
but right. I didn't even
there's
know that.
all kinds of them throughout the state. So that was another one that was, that was about 9,000 kilometers in 10 days, 8, 9 days, 10, 9, 10 days, somewhere around there. But,
Huh.
and we hit something like 100 dealerships throughout the states, and
Wow.
it was a great ride. I mean, that's, when I
Does
plan those
Canada
trips.
have one of those?
What?
Does Canada have one of those? Like a famous?
Canada has a few. We got the Cabot Trail in Nova Scotia,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Okay.
an amazing ride.
That's a nice drive.
We got some a bunch of roads up in Gaspé. There's the Matapedia Valley in Quebec that leads down to Campbellford, New Brunswick. I did
Yeah.
that one too. I did the Cabot Trail. Yeah, there's a lot of good rides in Canada. The Rocky Mountain one is supposedly phenomenal. I'll get there one day.
Done that one.
I
Yeah,
miss
the
it
night.
so much.
The
But yeah,
mountains are scary, man. Like some of those turns, like I haven't we used to go through the mountains a lot, right? When I was in Vancouver, we would go to Alberta a lot and come to Ontario a lot, and I'm telling you, some of those roads are absolutely, they're scary. To me, they are very scary. Going, the drops are just insane, and there's like no guardrails, and I don't know. They might have fixed them by now, but holy shit. Yeah.
yeah, I've somewhere there's pictures of me and my bike on I can't remember the name of the highway, but anyways, they have different elevations and got big signs. So like I think I'm at 4,064 feet above sea level, and
Wow.
it's just a drop off. You got like a little 4-inch cement curb. That's what keeps
Yeah.
you from going over the edge.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
Blue Ridge Parkway. That's the name of the highway. I rode that one too. That one's quite
And what was
a
your
highway.
favorite?
My favorite long motorcycle ride.
Your favorite road, your favorite highway, your favorite road to ride on.
I don't know. That's a hard one. Honestly, I think my favorite one to ride on is right here in Kawartha Lakes.
I was just gonna say that, the one to your clubhouse.
Yeah, the one to my clubhouse is pretty good, right? The one that brings me to a meeting is pretty good.
Yeah.
But and I think probably my favorite because I can ride them whenever I want, right?
Yeah.
Like the Tail of the Dragon was fun, but I mean it's a 12-hour ride just to get there.
Right.
So and then it's I forget what it is. It's 118 curves and 11 miles or something like that.
Wow.
So
Wow.
11 miles, that's 60 miles a minute,
A lot of
60 miles an
curves
hour.
for that
It
short a
takes you like
distance.
6 minutes to do the whole thing, right? So,
Wow.
There's
but
how many turns in 11 miles? What did you?
100, I think it's 111, 118 curves in 11 miles.
So it's just like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Wow.
It's just
wow.
driving down the mountain. That's it. Curve, back and forth.
I'm gonna look this up. What's it called?
You can look it up. Go on YouTube, look it up. There's the Tail of the Dragon, it's called.
Tail of the Dragon. I want to see this.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos. I mean, it'd be nice if those fucking cops would stay off of there. But you get 2 or 3 cops usually about halfway down with their radar guns, right?
Okay.
It's
Right.
only like a 50-mile-an-hour road, and not even 50 mile. I think it's 30-mile-an-hours. Right. So you're not supposed to do it very fast, but the faster you go, the more fun it is.
And where is this?
I don't fucking know. I believe it's in Tennessee.
Right.
It's Moonshine. It's Highway 28 in Tennessee. I think it goes from Tennessee into another state right there, right at the bottom of the tail. But yeah, if you look it up, tail of the dragon, it's a great road to
Yeah, I'm
ride.
definitely gonna look it up. So this summer, what kind of things does you and your club, what kind of things do you guys have in store this summer?
This summer, not a whole lot not a whole lot of public stuff, like the
Yep,
public rides and that.
yep,
We grew quite a bit over the winter time. We
yep,
added a bunch of new guys, so our goal this summer is to ride together as a club
yep,
and get that, start building that brotherly bond that every club should have. It's very
right,
important to us, that we strive to be a family, and we truly mean that, right? So, and that's, like I said, the best way to get to know somebody, right?
yeah,
Ride, ride 120 kilometers an hour, so handlebar to handlebar, and take 118 curves and 11 miles, and see how much you trust your brother at the end of that ride.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Roaring
Well,
thunder
I'm
there,
sure,
eh?
huh?
A roaring thunder there, eh?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm gonna see you at many events this summer. I'm gonna get out
I
and
will
see
be,
some
I will
fun.
probably be at most of them. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I plan on having a good summer this year too. Yeah,
yeah.
I plan
This
on
is,
not
I
working
plan.
too much.
Last year I didn't ride as much as I wanted to because I was just coming off of my accident and
Yeah,
uh, a little skittish, we'll say. Just, you can't hit
right.
a concrete wall at 120 kilometers an hour and not feel something about it. So
That's it.
uh, I was a little skittish this year. I didn't, a lot of times I just decided to drive the car rather than ride the bike.
Right.
But this year everything seems to be going good. I'm anxious. I want to get on that bike and, get
Yeah,
that 25,000 kilometers that I used to get on it.
yeah.
And
And you get to ride to work as well, right?
I I do.
Yeah.
That's the little skittish one. When I had my accident,
The
I was on my way
highway,
to work in
right?
the morning, right? So
Yeah.
that was still a little leery about doing it, but I'm planning on doing it, and I'm gonna do it. And that's 300 kilometers a day, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. He travels quite far every day for work.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a great summer. I
Well,
can
it's
feel
gonna
it.
it
be
is going to
cheaper to
be a great
ride that
summer,
than
right? We
drive
got
the car.
What's
what's
that?
that?
It's gonna be cheaper to ride that than drive the car right now.
Oh, for sure. Right
Yeah.
now, I mean, my car is not too bad. I got rid of the big truck, so the
Mhm.
big truck. Like last time gas prices were this high, the big truck was costing me fucking $300 to $400 a week just to go to work.
I just
And
filled up my husband's truck and it was $237, I think it was.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. We were talking about it the other day. How much is gas where you are, Rhiannon?
224 right now.
224
geez, I think it's a dollar 78 today here.
where we
A
are?
little bit cheaper,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Absolutely crazy.
I'm certainly glad I don't have the big old truck anymore because when you're praying that it clicks before the $200 mark, that's fucking bad.
It is bad. Diesel's
Yeah.
even more. And yeah, it's
Absolutely.
horrible. But
Yeah.
I like
For
trucks
sure.
though.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Well,
thank you so much for
really
coming on.
appreciate you coming.
No problem. It
And
was a
we will,
pleasure.
and
Anything to help out my friends,
sure. And sometime this summer when we're at events, maybe we can do some stuff from some events this summer.
for
And
sure.
yeah, and we'll get together again. Other than that,
Yeah,
I will see
just
you
I,
soon.
I I do have 16 other guys that I can lean on to come and help you girls out for another podcast.
Perfect.
And you can get
Absolutely.
their opinion on the same stuff, and then we can spread it around a little bit.
Yeah, we would love
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, we would love that. And
Yeah,
just talk to your guys and yeah, we'll absolutely do this again. It's great to
for
to
sure.
get other people's stories, opinions, life.
So
It's an amazing thing. And
this is
I
the whole thing, right? Like
absolutely.
this is what I strive for, right? To get that message out there, and I mean this is this is just one way to do that, right? Get
Yeah,
out there and talk and share your stuff, and And
Yeah.
maybe somebody out there hears it and needs to fucking hear more, wants to hear more, so we can set up something and
Yeah.
go, right? Because if I can't keep it if I don't give it away, right? And so it's
That's
one of
right.
the weird things about this stuff. You have to
Yeah.
give it away, otherwise you're gonna lose it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And we're just starting up with our podcast stuff.
we're
So
gonna blow this fucker up.
yeah, we are. And we also because we've had a radio show together for what, 8
8
years?
years now.
8 years now, and that's going really, really well. And
It only took
and
8
it's
years.
pardon?
So it only took 8 years.
Yeah, but that's
That's all
going
right.
very well. And
Going
so
good.
now
I put it in the club chat today. I put the myshedparty.com. Told
yeah,
everybody go have a listen, 8 o'clock, get them going.
excellent. So we're trying to kind of combine a podcast with our radio stuff, get our radio listeners also in on our podcasts and stuff. So we'll get it going. We'll get it going.
Getting there.
I know you will.
Yeah, we'll get it going. But it was really great having you on, Joey, and I look forward to having you on again.
No problem.
Thank
Anytime.
you for joining us.
All right,
We're all
everybody,
good.
have a great night.
You as well.
Hey,
Okay, bye.
if anybody's still listening, like, subscribe, and share. And go to my
Yeah.
Facebook page too, 12SRMC. Go to the
Yes.
Facebook page and like and share, follow that one. Thanks,
Yes.
girls.
Well said.
Love ya.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.